Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Today, I want to ask you a question. Who's winning the war between Russia and Ukraine? Who? Well, that's where it gets fun. Anyway, sorry, I'm just waiting for my teleprompter to scroll up. If you haven't been living under a rock, you will know that Russia is trying to conquer Ukraine. I'm pretty sure that people have kind of noticed that. Yeah, there's been a long, slow Russian advance that Ukraine hasn't stopped. This advance is taken as proof by a lot of folks that Russia is winning. It isn't. As a matter of fact, the Russian advance is slow enough that a particularly energetic sail could outpace it. Ukraine hasn't stopped the Russian advance, therefore they are losing, is how many are interpreting this. What's really happening is Ukraine is trading space for Russian soldiers' lives. Based on current estimates from various intelligence sources, it's working. I'll once again point you to the rampage of the one and only Holy Roller. The Holy Roller rolled off a landing craft onto Juno Beach on the 6th of June in 1944. The Holy Roller and her crew spent the next 11 months invading 5 nations on a 1,200-kilometer advance. Compare that to Russia's advance in Ukraine. If you look at the map of January 2023 and compare it to the map of today, you'll see very little difference. Then you have to consider the dueling strategic bombing campaigns. Both sides are working hard to destroy the other's infrastructure. Unfortunately, the Russians appear to think that daycares and hospitals are infrastructure, military infrastructure, and regularly target them. They go for more traditional targets, too. They've been playing cat and mouse with the Ukrainian Air Force and trying to take out as many Ukrainian warplanes on the runways as possible. But every bomb on a daycare is a waste. It's not taking out proper targets. Ukraine appears to be more targeted, and that's going to be a huge issue for Russia. Ukraine is trying to destroy the Russian military production and transport network. Basically, trucks are cheap, cheerful, and easy to replace. Locomotives, that's just a teeny tiny bit harder. And Ukraine has been targeting them along with bridges, tunnels, refineries, to destroy fuel sources and, of course, military equipment plants. I wish I had definitive numbers for you. I don't. The Russians have them, but they are trying to hide how bad the damage is and won't publish them. It's typical of any wartime country. You don't tell the enemy how bad you're hurt, how successful they've been. What is definitive is Russia is suffering from more and more congestion on the logistics front. Napoleon supposedly said an army marches on its stomach. Starving soldiers don't fight well. Hell, starving soldiers have a tendency to blame the bosses and revolt. Every delayed shipment puts more stress on the front lines. Lack of food, fuel, and ammunition leaves Russian frontline soldiers in a deadly situation. But it's worse. Russia is dependent upon rail transport to an extent that most people don't realize. In the early 90s, to upgrade rail car load carrying capacity, Russia started buying high load bearings from the Western Europe. The new bearings, plus modifications to the road wheels, gave increased capacity of the network. It increased it by about 25%, going by memory. Russia can't directly buy those bearings anymore and is incapable of producing them. The Russian rail companies reported on this problem back in the fall of 2022. These bearings take a lot of abuse and have to be replaced regularly. The lack of replacements is a huge blow to the Russian logistics. Every freight car that had those bearings is a problem. Add in Ukrainian blows to logistics, all sorts of other logistic hubs, partisans burning switch boxes, and every time things happen, it slows things further. Russian air defense is able to reduce the number of hits, but they can't stop them. And they can't stop enough to prevent a cascade effect in the logistics network. Never mind the fact that they're being targeted too. This doesn't only impact the fighting, it also is strangling the Russian economy. Coal is an important Russian export. Every delay in the exports of coal because freight trains aren't running, well, that's a hit to the entire Russian economy. I can't tell you how long the fighting will go on. I have no idea. Humans are ferocious fighters, and we have this tendency to make donkeys look cooperative. So the fighting could continue for a while, but if you see the local Russian collapses happening in a while, don't be too surprised. Anyway, have a nice day, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, and all that guff if you got something out of it. And Slava Ukraini!